Good afternoon, Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times and aspiringmagazine.com. And I'm so glad to have our guest today. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Tish Arana, and writer, director, executive producer, and one of the actors of The Burden.
Yay. And I'm one of the lucky ones that's seen it. So everybody check it out. We're going to tell you more right now because it's set in the not too distant future, and it deals with themes of racism, cultural appropriation, remorse, retribution, and rehabilitation. It is funny and
Yeah.
serious, right? It's funny and serious at the same time as it poses a
Yeah.
possible not too distant future. I think I
Yeah.
might have worded that right.
You
So
did.
thank you again for being with us. And this is an imaginative story that is at times quite funny and yet deals with the serious topic of racism. In the end, it poses a solution that is appropriate as any. How did you come up with this amazing story? Was there a specific inspiration for it?
That is a really great question that I love answering. So actually, yes, it is based off of a situation. I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm originally from the South, and then, the Midwest for a little bit. So I had lots of experience with overt racism. Had been called the N-word in a really scary, way multiple times as a kid, KKK in my backyard. And then I moved to Los Angeles where, it's supposed to be very liberal and, we're just not dealing with the scary stuff from the South, and hearing young kids a lot that are not Black using the word, like coming out of Target, just minding my business and hearing it. And, so it was always just like this raw feeling that I had. And then I married to a Filipino man. And I was on Instagram one day and I was watching a couple of his friends back in his home state of Jersey having a going away party. And it was all Filipino people. And someone in the crowd yelled out the N-word really loud. And I went, and I was like, and I like they're doing a live, event. And so I'm like, who said that? And you can see that they can see my comment and they're ignoring me. And I was like, this is really interesting. And I'm just getting more and more angry. And I'm like, whenever I see cultural appropriation, I always, like a curmudgeon, I'll say everything but the burden. And so I'm just, going up. My husband's washing dishes in the background and he's like, oh. And it just came to me in a moment of just pure. I was like, oh, I can take back some of the power. And I had the outline written in 2 minutes, just extreme empathy. We're going to make them see why they can't use this word.
Yeah. Wow. And what part of the South are you from?
I'm from Texas, from the
Okay.
Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, so I've seen
I heard
quite a
that
bit
twang.
myself.
Yes. It's
Being
just
born in 1959.
it
Um,
hits different when you're from that area and then you see like a casual, almost, like microaggressive version of it. We can't deal with it.
yeah. Well, you've assembled. You've
It's not the
assembled.
same.
Yes, it's not different, but
Oh, you
yeah,
cut out.
thank you for that information. So you've assembled a wonderful cast of actors, and I might butcher their names, so apologies in advance. Vachensky, Vieux, Rashawn,
Yes.
Nadine Scott, and
Yes.
Samuel Ademola.
Good
Okay.
job. Yes.
They brought the right mix of irony and vengeance to the roles of the leaders of the tribunal. And Rajiv Shah, who played Sean
Rajiv.
Lee, right,
Mhm.
was perfect as the young man seeking his citizenship. Talk about how this cast came together.
Oh, I got so lucky. So before we were in pre-production, when I just had, a script that I was trying to see if it could be a short, I took it to this wonderful program that's in LA called First 15, where they read the first 15 pages of a script. They bring in professional actors, and Rashawn, who played tribunal judge number 2. She was in the middle. She comes from the HBO show South Side. Her comedy, I mean, she's been on Wayne Brady's show. Her improv skills are amazing, and she knocked it out of the park. And I went to her afterwards and said, if we make this, you have to be a part of it. And she said, okay. And she stuck with me. I mean, we started that in 2019, and then we ended up filming it in 2022. So very blessed to get her. And then for the rest of the cast, I always knew when I was creating this world that if it was going to be a Black utopian society, that there needed to be a Black, dark-skinned trans woman in a place of power. And so knowing that and knowing I needed to get, top tier talent, I hired an amazing casting director. Her name is Caitlin. She was actually a part of the Pose. She was the assistant casting director for Pose. And so I knew she had all of these contacts, and she knew. She was like, I'm going to send you V. That's what I call her. Short for Vachensky. And said, as soon, she just sent me, a few snippets of her work. And I was like, she's in, love her. With Raj, the lead, he was harder. It took us nearly 2 months to find him. I have seen this kind of character so often in my real life, and it was so frustrating to me that I couldn't get somebody who could, somebody with charm, just kind of just be dense when it came to like why this is important. And he just captured it in the perfect way. I remember, we had been through like maybe 18 different audition tapes. And I was like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And I told my husband, I was like, tell me if this is a good one. And I could hear him, as I was leaving the room, and I stopped and I came back, and my husband's eyes were big, and I was like, oh my God, it's him. And he's one of my best friends now. I call him my brother. He is an amazing actor. He always wants me to preface discussions with him as he is nothing like Sean in life.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, I can't even wear my hair like that anymore. I don't want to associate with him. And I'm like, the mark of a true actor. And then with Sam, the casting director found him as well. He, is from the Bay Area, and with all of them, I had a vision that I was going to take, stereotypical character tropes and turn them on their heads. So I wanted one of the judges to be Anansi, the trickster god. We see that in a lot of, Black pop culture. I wanted the wise sage, and then I wanted the angry Black man. And so, they had that, that they were working with, and then they took it somewhere I didn't even imagine it could go.
Yeah, good for you guys. The song over the closing credits, The Burden, by, okay, here we go again, Mudvayne, the bassist, Mudvayne, I don't know, but just wow. It was the
his name is
perfect,
Rhino, so that will help.
yes,
Isn't it great?
yes. It was a perfect exclamation point to the film. How did he come to be involved with the writing the song?
It was serendipitous that, so I have a really good friend from DC, and her and her partner are just, they're really into music. I met them at Rock the Bells. We've gone to Coachella before. And so I knew he loved music and, had like an extensive record collection. But one day I just happened to be on Instagram again, and he was playing music. And I was like, whose music is that? That is, fantastic. And he was like, oh, it's mine. I make beats. And I was like, Ryan, how did I not know this? And I was like, have you ever done anything for film? And he was like, no. He was like, but if you are looking for something, I would love to try. And so I was like, okay. And I love the idea when you see music in films, like I gave him the direction of Closer with Natalie Portman and Julia Roberts. In that film, it's, about like deceit and cheating and all of that. And then the song that they play at the end is, I Can't Keep My Eyes Off of You by the Glassblower's Daughter.
Mhm.
This, or the song is the Glassblower's Daughter. And I just love the innuendos and the like hidden meanings behind that. And so I wanted him to create something that kind of had that spirit of cheekiness. And then also, I love the idea of using like spirituals, like Negro spiritual, like the hymns and all of that. And literally, I gave him those two notes, and he came back with that song, and I was just
Yeah, good,
just
good, good. And you've expressed a desire to create a college curriculum around this film on a streaming platform for a course in
yes,
Afrofuturism,
yes.
something to which you were exposed to in college yourself. Sounds like an ambitious and outstanding idea. What would be the outcome of such a course for those who took it?
You have done your research. I love that. Yes, like you said before, I, found Octavia Butler in college, and she changed everything for me. I used to think that I was not a sci-fi head, and then she came along, and I just started imagining the world in different ways. And so just, classes around the Black experience, like I remember in classes, I majored in journalism and I minored in African American studies. And so a lot of the classes that I would, attend were built around Afrofuturism. We learned about Sun Ra. We learned about, the Homeboy from Outer Space. Like that was a film that we had to watch. And I just envision this being in that type of curriculum that you would find in college around Afrofuturism, the Black experience. Yeah. And I'm fortunate that I have found, I have a lot of friends that are professors because, I'm a geek. And they have just sent me lists of how I can share this in a curriculum, for future students. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, good for you. Well, I just want to, as we start wrapping up, I want to know, like, are you working on anything next?
Yes. So,
Okay.
I started out as an actor, and I wrote this script as an exercise for an acting, workshop that I was doing. And I fought it for a really long time. I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. And then the pandemic happened, and something just snapped in me. I thought the burden was a one and done, and I have written two features since then. I've done a TV pilot. I've written two other shorts. And so I have another short in pre-production right now. I caught the bug. And now I love directing too. So there's lots more to come.
Okay, so
Some
how can
sci-fi.
yeah, how can our readers and our viewers find you? A social media, website, what?
Yes. So if you want to follow along with the burden, we still have a few more months of our festival run left. You can go to Instagram. It's The Burden Film. And then if you want to follow me and my journey, past the burden, I'm at Love and Kiwi, which is LUVANDKIWI.
Okay, beautiful. We're HollywoodTimes.net. Our YouTube is Hollywood Times Official. And I just am so excited. And maybe we meet in person one day since we just live over the hill from each other.
Yes, I hope
Okay.
so. I hope to see you at the anthology
Yes. Oh,
festival.
right, right, right. Yes, absolutely. Also, our sister publication, aspiringmagazine.com, which is a hard copy. So we're real thrilled about announcing that soon. But thank you
Yay.
so much again, Tish, and have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it was fun.
Have a good
Thanks.
one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.